It doesn't feel right to be talking about crypto and money when there's war in the world and people are fleeing from their homes and getting killed. But as somebody who's 42 and who's lived through various wartime scenarios, these can be really good opportunities to build wealth, and you can use that wealth to help people and donate money around the world. So I like to think about wealth not just as a selfish pursuit, but as something that I can use to bless other people. And so I think that even in wartime, it's relevant to talk about crypto and investing. I've got some strategies for you guys today. I'm going to keep this video short just in honor of what's going on in the world. I do have a very exciting announcement coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's a tool that I've been working on with some partners that will allow you guys to have an additional way to generate profits in a sideways and a down market. I am very excited about this announcement. I've been working my butt off on it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out, and that will be coming very soon. So one of the things we're going to talk about in today's video is dollar cost averaging into one of the crypto projects that I think is at a critical level now, and also is very suited for the regulatory environment that we are in right now. So that's coming up in just a minute. Remember too that right now, when the crypto markets are flat and the world's kind of at a standstill, it is a great opportunity to reflect on your own life goals, side hustles, starting businesses, decreasing your expenses, selling that luxury vehicle, and going back to the basics, kind of to turn inward, maybe even take a break from crypto and, kind of get yourself refreshed, get your mind regenerated. Maybe you gained some weight in the bull run and now's the time to work out. Remember that health is wealth, and your mind is going to work a lot better after you go on a run. Sometimes I find that if I go on a run and do some push-ups, I might actually make a more profitable trade because I have more blood flow to my brain. So don't forget about stuff like that. So let's get into the market update and some alpha that I have for you guys today. So even though in the long run, I do think that United States inflation will lead to a weakening dollar and thus a strengthening Bitcoin, right now, because we are in a wartime, we are actually seeing the opposite. We are seeing DXY, which is the strength of the United States dollar compared to other currencies, actually going up sharply in the last few weeks. Here's the 1 month chart, and you can see there is a sharp rise. Now, why is this happening? Well, it's because in times of war, people flee to currencies of the countries that have the most military and economic stability. So right now, this is actually looking bearish for Bitcoin short term. On the other hand, on-chain metrics continue to be extremely bullish. And if you're starting to get frustrated because I keep saying bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, I'm going to tell you in a minute the strategy that I am using for that. But as you can see, a lot of these on-chain metrics are actually as bullish as they have ever been. I'm not sure if you can see the bottom part of this chart here. Let me try to move this to a different part of my screen. But the on-chain metrics such as this dormancy flow has yet again hit what has historically been a bear market bottom. You can see the last time it was here, we were starting the end of the bear market bottom as it is shaded in gray and starting to climb back up into a bull market. So on-chain metrics continue to be extremely bullish. Here's another one with the floor model for Bitcoin. Only 3 times has Bitcoin touched this floor model, and these were the best times to buy. Now, we are not there yet. You can see that we're only a little bit close to it, but we're certainly closer to it than we have been in these past bull markets when we get way far away from it. So we're getting closer to that on-chain metric bear market bottom. Here you can see illiquid Bitcoin supply has hit a highest amount in 10 months, which again, illiquid supply means everybody has taken their Bitcoin off of exchanges. Now, here's something that I wanted to point out that's really interesting graphical representation that I have not seen done recently. This is the correlation between the federal funds interest rates and inflation. The red line here you can see is the CPI or inflation, and the blue line is interest rates. And you can see that these trace each other pretty well over history. The Fed raises interest rates. This is a long-term chart, you guys. It goes all the way back into the 1960s. And the Fed usually raises interest rates almost exactly in correlation with inflation. So just trace this with me and see how well it correlates. It is almost exact. All of a sudden here, we have a absolutely massive spike in inflation and no corresponding spike in interest rates yet. And the reason that I bring this up is because there is so much controversy right now about how much the Fed will raise interest rates, when they will do it. Will they do it a quarter of a point or half a point? But if you look at historically speaking, and this even includes various war times, I think it's safe to say that some very strong interest rate hikes are coming soon. Now, what does that mean for the market? Well, for the Nasdaq and for tech stocks, speculative assets, it's going to be really bad. People are going to be fleeing back to things like real estate, like dividend-producing stocks. The proper term for this shift in asset class is sector rotation. People are rotating out of high-risk assets into lower-risk assets that generate income. Now, this does not mean that we should give up on cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is currently a new and innovative asset model that is growing and changing rapidly. So there still will be cryptocurrencies that experience 10x, 100x potential during this time. Now, this is something that I've talked about a couple of times before, but I wanted to bring this back to your attention. And this is the, let me just see if I can move this over here so it's all the way on your screen. This is the bull market that just happened since 2021. And one thing I wanted to point out here, and this is what I've been saying and what many other analysts have been saying, is that we have actually been in a bear market structure since the first peak in 2021. You can see the volume, trade volume, has been decreasing since about May 2021 when we had that high. And the all-time high in late 2021 actually was on very low volume. And so this is, again, a bullish sign that the bearish market structure is already sort of established, and we probably will go higher at some point soon. Now, I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but it is going to be relatively soon. I just wanted to show you guys this chart. This is a chart that is just absolutely mind-blowing. This is the Nasdaq chart, and as you can see, it goes back all the way to year 2000, and you can see that the Nasdaq, which is all of the stocks in the tech sector, has been in an absolutely mind-boggling bubble since about 2010. The last time we had this kind of bubble was the dot-com bubble, and if you look at it, if you would have bought into tech stocks at the peak of the dot-com bubble, then it would have taken you over 10 years, more like 15 years, just to break even. So be cautious getting caught up in that everything always goes up mentality, which I'm sure by now you aren't in that mentality anymore, because we're already sort of in a bearish period with war and everything. But I just think the graphical representation of this is just kind of mind-blowing. Finally, for the last point of the day, I want to show you a strategy that I will be using in crypto and that you might want to consider, and that is to dollar cost average, because we don't know if we're going lower. Dollar cost average into high quality projects. I have Algorand pulled up here. Now, as I talked about in a past video, Algorand is actually favored by Gary Gensler. The founder of Algorand actually went to the same university as Gary Gensler, and Algorand is ISO compliant, and so it's very likely to get a bounce or survive regulations. But what I really want to talk about today is not the fundamentals of Algorand. I want to talk to you about TA, chart analysis for Algorand, and a lot of the cryptos are looking very similar. So I'm going to put up a typical Brian Ross, not very fancy line on the chart. You can see this little line that I'm putting up here, and you can see that right now we are reaching a very low point on Algorand that has only been reached a couple other times. Like this was summer of 2021. We are at this crucial support level, and if you look back to before the bull run in 2020, this was also a crucial resistance level. So we are hitting a long-term macro support and resistance level at this price level here. And the reason this is so important, you guys, is that it's starting to look very attractive to dollar cost average into this project. One of the reasons to dollar cost average into this is because I do think there's a chance that we could and probably will go lower. But this is such a good deal for Algorand. I mean, look at this. We have literally moved Algorand and given up all of the gains in this entire bull run, basically, if you're going to compare to the last level of resistance, which is about the same level. So could we go lower? Could we go down? Yes, absolutely. But this is a crypto that I would keep my eye on. Many of the other ISO compliant cryptos like HBAR and XRP are going to have similar market structure right now. This is something to definitely keep an eye on. I'm going to finish up the video with one more quick mention of something I am working on. It is a new project I'm working on with a couple of partners. One of them is actually a longtime friend that I've known for like 15 years. And the purpose of it is going to be to help you make money in these exact market conditions that we are experiencing right now. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to talk about it. I'm going to be doing YouTube question and answers and explainers on this new project. So like and subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss that. Everybody have a great day, and God bless, and prayers and blessings for the world right now. We all need it.